routine, but you can't seem to get enough. Let my love open the door. Let my love open the door. Let my love open the door to your heart.
Good afternoon. I'm spiritual hypnotherapist, master esthetician, and your host, Sakura Sutter. Welcome to Love from the Hip's 7th show. This show airs every Wednesday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. right here on KKNW and is unlike anything you have ever heard. The show was created with the intention of helping others to help themselves. You will hear me interview incredible people from around the world who are making a difference by helping others in their own unique way. You may also hear me follow up with guests who were brave enough to share their hypnotherapy sessions with you on a special edition of Love from the Hip available online at lovefromthehip.com and on YouTube. Together we can all make a difference, and it begins with love. Love from the hip. Life may not come with a manual, but it often does come with instructions. These instructions may have been given to us by our ancestors and by our teachers, parents, television, and peers as children, and preceding that by our past lives. As we grow, we may begin to rebel against these instructions, which begin to become labels aside from boundaries. Conflict arises as we start to no longer identify with who we were meant to be. We start to wear many hats to keep up with these roles that others and society has created for us, just so we can appease everyone else other than ourselves. Eventually, these instructions, these labels, these boundaries become our beliefs. They become our identity. And when we start to not fit into this false identity, we begin to create negative self-talk and limiting beliefs. As a child, I knew I was different. I never felt right in my own skin. Sure, academically I excelled and I had quite the imagination, but I also struggled to really fit in. As a wife, I also struggled to wear the hats that did not define me, but looked good to everyone else looking in. As a mother, it also is a balance of wearing a hat that defines me and my independence, but also allows me to be empathic, compassionate, and to be there for my daughter. As women, I feel we wear the most hats, constantly trying to do it all and be it all without seeming like we are falling apart in the process. Yet in the midst of all those hats, we lose ourselves so easily. And unless we make a conscious decision to destroy all these hats and wear the one intended for us, we will crack. It took illness for me to completely destroy everything and start over. And so with open lesions covering my body from pemphigus vulgaris, I ironically started to feel right in my own skin. Today, I will be interviewing intuitive life coach and energy healer, Sylvia Henderson. She will be sharing her spiritual journey and her wisdom on self-limiting beliefs, where they came from, and how to get rid of them. She will also share her story on how she gave up everything to create her true identity. So stick around after this quick break.
Take me to heart, and I'll always love you, and nobody can make me do wrong. Take me for granted, leaving love unshown.
Peach fuzz is great if it's on a peach. Let Sakura Skin and Mind remove unsightly hair with dermaplaning. Although its primary purpose is to remove layers of dead skin, it's just one of the added benefits, leaving your skin baby smooth, safe, effective, fast, and affordable. What a concept! Sakura Skin and Mind wants you to look your very best, and dermaplaning is just one tool in their chest. Find out about dermaplaning at sakuraskinandmind.com. Sakura skinandmind.com. We bring out the healthy skin and healthy way of thinking you didn't know you had.
Alternative Talk 1150, here to uplift your day.
You gotta be a do-right all night man. Gotta be.
Welcome back to Love from the Hip. I am spiritual hypnotherapist, master esthetician, and your host, Sakura Sutter. And remember to tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. right here on KKNW. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing intuitive life coach and energy healer, Sylvia Henderson. Hello, Sylvia.
Hello, Shakira. Thank you so much for having me today.
Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here.
Well, so I have obviously some wonderful questions for you today, but I wanted to ask you, what event in your life caused you to become on your spiritual path today?
Wow. Well, I think everyone, first of all, is on a spiritual path, and it just looks differently and more pronounced for some than others.
Mm-hmm.
For me, my process was having 2 children with autism.
Yeah.
And when life is giving you something as intense and profound as that, you start asking different questions and you start looking into different venues and really doing some self-evaluation.
Mm-hmm.
So being gifted with these 2 beautiful souls who chose to come in physical form as 2 sons with autism, and me as their mom, that has really been part of my healing journey. As a young child, I had an abusive home life, but all of that didn't really even come to the surface until I was gifted with these 2 sons.
And are they identical twins?
No, they're 21 months apart. They're very close in
wow.
age. And like all individuals on the autistic spectrum, it's a very personality-driven disorder. And so they're very unique. Yeah, my oldest one is tall and thin, and my youngest one is short and stubby. So, and their personalities are unique. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's got to be very trying. And then to have them, were you raising them by yourself?
No. I was married at the time.
Okay.
It's funny because people say, wow, that must be really hard. That must be really challenging. But I think that everyone in life has their own challenge that comes into their lives.
Yeah.
And when, we're all on this, what do I want to say? The hero's journey, so to speak, that Joseph Campbell speaks of.
Yeah.
Yes. So we all are given these challenges in our life, and then it's about us learning more about who we are and finding our own power in order to negotiate that. So whenever we resist something that comes up in our reality, then it becomes a challenge. But when you embrace it and you choose to say, okay, what are the gifts in this? What am I to learn from this? We become more acquainted with ourselves and find out just how powerful we really are.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
And that was great that they chose you.
I know, I
Yeah.
thought so. I love those guys.
So I know that you're well versed in so many spiritual modalities. And how did you decide which ones to truly develop and maybe which ones to let go of or push to the side for now?
Yeah, I have studied and been certified in over 20 different healing modalities.
Wow.
And it was one of those kind of things. I didn't set off to do that. It was my inner quest of finding something that would really work.
Yeah.
Initially I thought there's got to be like a silver bullet. There's got to be one size that fits all. And what I have found over time is that that's not necessarily true. There's a lot of really good healing modalities out there, and there's a lot of stuff that promises to be a really good healing modality. And so what I have done is I have found, I feel like I've pulled the best of what I've been exposed to that works out of each healing modality. Like there's things you're a hypnotherapist. I don't practice as I trained as well. I don't practice as a hypnotherapist, but I've taken a lot of tools from that, and I'll use that in a session with a client. I'll use theta healing. Some of the theta healing work I do, spiritual response therapy, I'll use some of that. I even use the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement, so, and I'm intuitive, I'm clairvoyant, I'm clairaudient, and I'm clear knowing in a session. I work with a pendulum, so I dowse to make sure that I'm really hitting on what are the root issues. So, it really is whatever comes up in the session for the client. As long as I'm being really present and in the moment, then what happens is always perfect and ideal for them.
Yeah. So you're taking what resonates with you and making it your own in a sense, or making it their own.
Yes.
In a sense.
I've taken what resonates with me, what I have seen over time in working with clients that seems to really work for them. And it's not like I have a recipe per se, because everybody comes with something different, and I think the biggest thing that anyone who does healing work in order to be effectual is to approach every session not knowing.
Yeah.
When you can sit with your client and just go, I'm just curious, what does this person need? And for me, it's connecting with my higher self connects with them, and it's whatever comes in the moment for them.
Yeah, that completely makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So 20 different modalities. So when did you start? What age were you?
Well, I'm older than I look.
She looks
Thank
great,
God.
by the way.
But yeah, I think I started when my oldest son was about 3.
Okay.
And he was having a lot of issues. He had a lot of health issues, allergies and whatnot. And I would go to a naturopath who did some energy work, and I started learning from her
Oh, wow.
how
Okay.
to help him with allergies. And
Yeah.
so that's kind of how it started, more with physical stuff. And then as time progressed, I started to look more on the emotional and belief level. Because what I've come to understand, and there's a lot of people out there that will agree with this, is that we really do create our own reality, and it's based upon what we believe to be true. And all of that is based upon what we've been exposed to from our past. And so when we can make peace with our past, when we can heal those traumas and the drama, all the karma from the past, this life and past lives as well, then our life changes.
Yeah.
You know, we drop those judgments, and everything just falls into place for us so easily.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. So you started it because your son was sick, and then seeking out
That's
help
when
that
I
way,
Mhm.
and then venturing from there.
Yeah.
So was there anything, though, any modality that really pulled you?
You know, they all spoke to me at the time, because I think that with anything, it's almost like I was going through preschool and then grade school and then middle school and then high school. And so as my skills progressed and as I opened myself up more on a conscious level, then, you know, every tool served its perfect purpose at its time. What I use now primarily is mostly theta healing, but I don't use it the way it's taught. So I even am hesitant to say it's theta healing. It's kind of my own thing. It's like what that soul is calling, you know? And so, but it really is about identifying what is it at the root, and dismantling that as their truth of who they are, so that they know that's not their true identity, because our true identity is really unconditional love. Right. You know, we're really just beings of light, but we've been programmed to believe otherwise. So.
Okay. Yeah, so you basically were pulling in all these modalities to put in your tool chest.
Apparently, yeah, because I have a pretty eclectic tool chest.
You have a very wide, big tool chest. That's amazing.
I do.
So do you think, though, that people do tend to get caught up in too many spiritual teachings?
Now, spiritual teachings are healing modalities, because there's a little bit of a difference.
Yeah, I guess I would say more spiritual teachings.
Spiritual teachings, I think, you know, I don't know. I mean, I think people are, when you're searching, there's a reason you're searching. You're trying to find what works for you. And it's about, you know, looking under every rock. And some rocks work and you hold on to them, and some of them you discard. So I don't know that there's like, I don't have any judgments around that, because there was a time when I was really seeking and searching, and I learned a lot through that process. And so I think that everybody's just on an individual journey, and being, as long as they're listening to their intuitive guidance, then they're on the right path, however that path may look.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, makes sense. Well, we're going to have to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to dive right back in with Sylvia Henderson.
Great.
If I were the sun way up there, I'd grow with love most everywhere. I'll be the moon when the sun goes down, just to let you know that I'm still around. That's how strong my love is. Whoa, that's how strong my love is.
Did you know that your skin is your body's first defense against disease and infection? Briotech knows and has developed their topical skin spray to enhance your skin's natural healing responses and defenses. Briotech is all about providing its customers products that help promote skin wellness. Briotech Topical Skin Spray is a light misting spray free of added fragrance, oil, alcohol, and parabens. All this protection without clogging your pores. It's a must addition to your all-around daily skincare regimen. Try Briotech, a collection of sprayers from 2 ounces to 8 ounces. With this bundle, you can have Briotech Topical Skin Spray wherever life takes you. All natural and safe to use from head to toe. Irritations, Redness? Post-procedure sensitivities? Get Briotech topical skin spray today. Years in the making, doctor recommended, and available through Amazon. Learn more at briotechusa.com. That's BRIOTECHUSA.com. Support your skin at briotechusa.com.
Your skin is your body's largest organ. Care for it properly, starting with your face. Sakura Skin and Mind offers several clinical facial treatments to help stimulate collagen production, eliminate toxins, boost circulation, and deeply cleanse. See a new you in your mirror. Clinical facials range from $90 and up. Do your face a favor. Sakura Skin and Mind, erasing wrinkles one clinical facial at a time. Learn more SakuraSkinandMind.com. SAKURA skinandmind.com.
If you're planning on building a home or a major landscaping project, you'll want the team of Stone Resources on your side. Safely, effectively, and correctly working with our unique terrain requires local knowledge and environmental care. For 21 years, Stone Resources has been making sure their customers' biggest investment is on solid ground. Trust your next earth-moving project to Stone Resources. Call 425-754-6792. That's 425-754-6792. Stone Resources. We make the earth move. And remember, if you need dirt or have dirt to get rid of, you can call on us. 425-754-6792.
Microneedling is a revolutionary treatment that can help reduce the appearance of acne scars, fine lines, pigmentation, wrinkles, even improve the appearance of stretch marks by stimulating collagen and elastin. Sakura Skin and Mind specializes in this procedure that jumpstarts your body's natural healing process. Sakura Skin and Mind believes in not only keeping the skin up to date with the latest trends in the skincare industry, but also keeping the skin beautiful, fast, pretty, painless, and affordable. Find out more at SakuraSkinandMind.com. SAKURA skinandmind.com.
Don't let that herd mentality lead you off a cliff. We support thinking for yourself on Alternative Talk 1150.
So much love, there's so much love, whoa. There's so much love, there's so much love.
Welcome back to Love from the Hip. I am spiritual hypnotherapist, master esthetician, and your host, Sakura Sutter. And remember to tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. right here on KKNW. Today I have the pleasure of interviewing intuitive life coach and energy healer, Sylvia Henderson. So Sylvia, what is an intuitive life coach?
Well, it's kind of like how it reads.
Yeah.
But, the real distinction is that, right now we live in a world where life coaching is a big thing. It's almost like a buzzword.
It is.
And it's very practical. It's very linear mind. It's very left brain. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
Very masculine energy. It's very assertive. It's very aggressive. It's about doing. Well, with intuition, it's all about using that right side of your brain.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I am digging into, what are the underlying issues that are tripping you up in your life, not allowing you to make those next steps? Many people will say, oh, I want to do this or that. And then they get ready to do it and they feel like there's some kind of an invisible force field or barrier there that stops them from moving into that, no matter how much they push against it. Or they may try to execute something, establish a goal, set a goal, actually activate it and get it accomplished. And they feel like they're self-sabotaging themselves and they don't know why. Now, a traditional life coach may be able to look at it from a linear point of view, very superficial on a conscious level. And there's nothing wrong with that. That has great benefit. But what I do is I dig deeper.
Yeah.
I go into that subconscious realm.
Mm-hmm.
What is underneath this that is driving the procrastination, the self-sabotage, the negative talk that's going on in their head, which we all talk to ourselves, people. You know, they used to say that you're crazy if you talk to yourself. Well, everybody on the planet's crazy because we all talk to ourselves. So let's just own it for a change. But it's what we say to ourselves that really creates and changes our vibrational alignment with what we really want. Because part of us will say, well, I really want this. And the other part of us will say, you can't have it. And so it's that voice, that why am I saying I can't have that, that's putting my foot on the brake when I want to put my foot on the accelerator and move forward in my life, that we want to get to.
It's really that inner struggle.
Exactly. It's the inner conflict. It's that where we're in disagreement with ourselves. And so what I do is I'm able to ascertain, well, where is that? Where was that created? Some of that may have been created at the age of 3. Some of that may have been created even in the womb, hearing a conversation, because consciousness is, once consciousness is birth, it's birth before the baby is birth. You know, once there's that awareness there, then you're taking in information almost like by osmosis, energetically and vibrationally. And it's nonverbal, it's pre-verbal. And so it's finding where was that first instance where you learned I can't and I'm not good enough. And when we find that and we collapse that as a structure, as a sense of identity, then everything in your life changes.
Wow. So it almost feels unfair to be empathic, because even as a child, it's like you're absorbing all of that even more so and creating these invisible walls.
Well, it's interesting because everyone is empathic. It's whether or not you're aware of it. We're all hardwired to be empathic. That's part of who we are because we're spiritual beings having this human being experience, right? And so as spiritual beings, when you think about someone who, for instance, you had Mark on not too long ago, and he's a medium, and so he's having conversation with somebody in non-physical form, you know, and so it's like they're a spiritual being, and so they communicate without words. It's all energy exchange. It's empathic. And so everybody has this ability. And saying that, you know, it's not comfortable until you learn how to use your giftings as an empath. Once you start to, and a lot of people are empathic, especially now that people are waking up on the planet the way that they are, and they don't know what to do with this because they don't know what's their emotional state and content versus the person that they've been in traffic with. That, you know, and people will go, why am I so angry? Why am I so sad? Why am I so depressed? It may not even be them. It might be that they're picking up like someone a psychic
else.
Sponge, somebody else's energies. So in that way, it's uncomfortable, but it's about learning, you know, to recognize that, have the awareness of it, and then you can even shift that, even if it seems a little unfair.
Right, yeah, completely, yeah. So you're, as an intuitive life coach, you're basically seeing on the other side of the invisible wall.
I'm seeing into aspects of timelines that they have even forgotten existed. And when I bring it to their awareness, they go, oh, yeah, I remember, or oh, yeah, that happened, you know. And so it's almost like, I tell my clients, it's like I'm looking through your dirty underwear because I'm seeing all the stuff that you've even hidden from yourself because you didn't want to look at it, that shadow aspect and what created that. Because what happens is as children, we pick up everything.
Right.
Up until about the age of 7, and that's when discernment starts to turn on. But, you know, and on a subconscious level, we're picking it up because we're in a different brainwave state that is constantly on and at a very rapid pace. Information is streaming in. And so if we have the same things happen over and over again, we tend to develop then an identity of self as a result. This is who I am,
right?
You know, and so it's about, and those are taught. We're taught that we're not smart. We're taught that we're not good enough. We're taught that we're not lovable unless we do X, Y, and Z. We're taught that we should be guilty. Those are all learned behaviors. And when we can unravel that, then there's so much freedom in your life to just be you, authentically you. And then women are able to speak their truth. People are able to be more honest and authentic, which is a big buzzword now. People want that, but they're afraid to be that because they feel like if I do that, I'll be judged or I'll be rejected. Or somebody won't like me or talk about me. So,
or that it's just really uncomfortable. They've never been it before.
Exactly.
Right?
Are they? Well, I think we all come in it into the realm with it, but that it's taught out of us.
Yeah.
We're taught something to replace it with.
That makes
Because
sense.
if you look at an infant, a baby, there's a reason. There's just this innocence about them. There's this authenticity about them. And we're just pulled into that because that's our real truth. That's
Yeah.
really who we are
Definitely a draw.
until we learn differently.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Do you think, though, it's also not just negative things that we're taught? I mean, some children are taught, like, hey, Johnny's really good at running. He's going to be a marathon runner. And we're automatically put into these categories of what we're going to be when we grow up. And we tend to put our kids on that path. And then they realize it's not working for them. There's so much friction. They're, whether they're falling and injuring themselves or whatever it is, it's just not working for them because it was never really them. It was
It was a projection from their parent.
projection.
And it, it's all done out of love.
Right.
Out of their effort to love at whatever level our parents are able to give us, because they're just replicating what they learned and then just trying to improve on it bit by bit by bit each generation. And so, I totally agree with you. It's that things are projected upon us. If you think of it, we're consciousness in physical form. So it's almost like we're an operating system in a computer, and that's a blank slate until programming starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot to deal with. So what do you see most people for with Intuitive Life Coach?
Most of the people I see, I tend to work with women primarily, and they're not happy in their lives. They want to make change, and they don't know how to make change. So many women, it's really interesting, have a lot of abuse and trauma in their history, and it's just now coming to the forefront. It's coming to their awareness, and they're looking for ways to get out of their pain. How do I turn off these negative thoughts I have about myself? How do I believe in myself again? And it's not about putting on a garment of confidence.
Right.
It really is, healing only happens from the inside out. So when we can unravel and unwind all those stories that you've learned over time, whether it's traumatic abuse, because I've had a lot of abuse. I was raped. My mom was physically abusive. My dad was verbally and physically abusive. My stepmother was the same thing. And I get it, and then I have 2 kids with autism on top of it. I'm like, woohoo, so much stress. And so
you don't need any more.
No, but all of that can be healed when we begin to see the truth of who we really are.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Well, we're going to have to take a quick break.
Okay.
But when we come back, I want to touch on self-limiting beliefs.
Okay.
In this weekly Skinny, I would like to discuss dermaplaning, also called dermal edging. Dermal planing is a physical exfoliation which involves a tiny surgical scalpel blade that is used to remove dead skin cells and superficial hyperpigmentation. One of the added benefits of dermal planing is that it removes unwanted peach fuzz as well. This is wonderful for brides or anyone else that is getting professional pictures taken, as it helps their makeup to set better and to not get stuck in the peach fuzz. In addition, the lighting will not eliminate the unwanted hair. Geishas have had the right idea for years and have been shaving their skin for their full face makeup. Ultimately, by removing all this dead skin and peach fuzz, it allows for deeper product penetration and instantly leaves the skin brighter, glowing, and feeling more hydrated. It is a painless and quick procedure, which I often do in preparation for a chemical peel to allow for a deeper effect. If you are interested in booking a dermaplane treatment or have any questions, please call 206-730-7429 or email me at sakuraskinandmind.com.
Hypnotherapy helps you discover and explore deep, sustainable life changes. Let Sakura guide your communication with your unconscious mind. Rid yourself of negative behaviors, fears, pains, and emotions. Weight loss, smoking, childhood trauma, chronic pain, and much more can be addressed. Begin healing now. Just $100 for the first session. Learn more, sakuraskinandmind.com. SAKURA, skinandmind.com. Bring out the healthy way of thinking you didn't know you had.
Men, care for your skin properly, starting with your face. Sakura Skin and Mind offers their Gentleman's Groom Clinical Facial for just $120. Designed for your rugged skin, a deep cleansing clinical facial is like a 1-2-3 punch to wrinkles, age spots, and problem skin. Tame those brows, ears, and nostrils. Sakura Skin and Mind, erasing wrinkles one clinical facial at a time. Learn more at sakuraskinandmind.com. SAKURA skinandmind.com.
Peach fuzz is great if it's on a peach. Let Sakura Skin and Mind remove unsightly hair with dermaplaning. Although its primary purpose is to remove layers of dead skin, it's just one of the added benefits, leaving your skin baby smooth, safe, effective, fast, and affordable. What a concept! Sakura Skin and Mind wants you to look your very best, and dermaplaning is just one tool in their chest. Find out about dermaplaning at sakuraskinandmind.com. SAKURA skinandmind.com. We bring out the healthy skin and healthy way of thinking you didn't know you had.
Alternative Talk, 1150 on AM, 98.9 HD3 on HD, 1150 kknw.com on the web.
City traffic moving way too slow. Drop the pedal and go. Go, come on, baby. Go, do it for me now. We going riding on the freeway. Of love wins against nothing.
Welcome back to Love from the Hip. I am spiritual hypnotherapist, master esthetician, and your host, Sakura Sutter. And remember to tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. right here on KKNW. Today, I have the pleasure of interviewing intuitive life coach and energy healer Sylvia Henderson. And before our last break, we were talking about women and what they're struggling with, their self-limiting beliefs. And so knowing that these beliefs are so bad, why do we do this?
I know, right?
I mean, I know you touched on as far as, inheriting those beliefs. So, I mean, how do we change that?
Well, see, the thing about beliefs is that it takes a lot for an idea to become a belief about yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And once you believe that that is who you are, it's like the egoic, and really what our beliefs are is our egoic self.
Okay.
That's what we believe to be true about us. That's what they call the ego, or the pain body even, because it's usually never anything really positive or uplifting that we did. Or if there is, it's just a smattering compared to the big library that we carry around with us about how we're not the right person, the right size, the right shape, the right appearance, smart enough, good enough, all of haven't achieved enough, rich enough, all of those not enoughs.
Yeah.
And so dismantling it is really so for me, there's a lot of ways you can do it. Meditation. There's a reason meditation is huge right now, because people are finding if you can sit with yourself, and I do say if you can sit with yourself long enough to just be present with what shows up without any judgment, you will heal over time. That has been shown to be true.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a process a lot of people don't want to go into. They don't feel like they have the time to do it, but that is something that's always accessible for everyone. It's really portable, it's easy, and it's free.
Don't you think also that people, because they get caught up in, I don't want to be with myself, I don't like myself, so they don't want to sit and meditate by themselves, right? They don't want to spend time with themselves.
Well, we live in a society, first of all, that we're not allowed to acknowledge that we have emotions.
Yeah.
So the last thing we want to do is to be present with our emotional self. What people don't understand, though, it is through our emotions. All emotions are is energy and motion. Energy that needs to move. That's what emotions are. But we hold on to them and we stuff them down and we don't want anyone to see them, and we'll deflect, and that deflection might look like overeating or eating a lot of sugar or exercising too much or working too hard or being on our devices, watching TV constantly. Anything that doesn't allow us to be with ourselves, we're going to do, because we don't want to deal with that emotional content.
Yeah, makes sense.
So yeah, that is very challenging for people. That's one of the things that's why people won't meditate, or they'll say, I can't meditate. Everybody can, but they just don't want to go through that fire of really being with what's within them, Yeah. And just for those listening, real quick, I'll just say what you can do is just take 5 minutes, play some lovely music, and whatever comes up, don't judge it. Don't say, oh, I'm feeling sad. Just ask, so what is this? Oh, and it will, your consciousness will tell you what it is. It might be sadness, it might be fear. And then go, okay, what do you want me to know? And it will tell you what it wants you to know too. And you'll be surprised how once you really just sit with it, it'll pop and it'll be gone.
Yeah.
So that's one way.
Okay.
Another way is hypnotherapy.
Yes.
I think hypnotherapy is a wonderful way to work with your emotional state. However, we also live in a place where people are very left brain, and hypnotherapy, you tap into that right side of your brain where you're allowing your intuition and your imagination to be activated. And so for some clients, they'll go, well, I can't do hypnotherapy because I can't imagine. Everybody can, but they think they can't. So you have to get past that objection a little bit. And then there's energy healing, And so...
so what is energy healing?
Energy healing, or energy alchemy, I want to say, because we're not really healing energy. What we're doing is we're changing the vibration of the energy. So for me, working with belief systems, when I'm working with a client, I'm working with the creator of all that is, and I'm asking that energy to be shifted and changed with that client's permission. So we live in an ask and receive universe. So nothing is ever done to us, no matter what people may think. And you might go, well, I haven't asked for this in my life. And trust me, I didn't ask for 2 kids with autism, but my vibrational frequency did. Because we're energy beings.
Right.
We're energy beings naturally. And so what does that mean? That's vibration, which is movement, and frequency. And so you have to be in vibrational alignment. It's not about law of attraction where you're attracting something from the other side of the planet over to you to get what you want. It really is about being in vibrational alignment.
Do you think that's why people are talking about how they're having so many issues with manifesting lately?
Yeah, because they're not in alignment.
Right.
They're part of them. They're like, oh, I would really like that, but they've got all this subconscious content. And if you think of a computer, think of us as a computer. Your subconscious mind is like the operating system.
Right.
So you can put whatever software you want on Windows version whatever, but if it's not compatible, it's not going to run really well, or if it even will run at all. And we also are very confused about what we want. That's the other thing. We have such a short attention span. When I ask people, what do you really want? They go, I don't know,
But also, don't you think that's also because we've been told for so many years what we want that we don't know what we want?
That's part of it. Part of it is that. Part of it is there's so many shiny objects out there, and we become so short attention. Yeah, we distract very easily. It's a little bit like going into a restaurant and sitting at a table and the waiter says, what would you like? And you're not specific about what you're ordering, and then what shows up and you're like, no, I don't really want, when I said beef, I don't want a cow. I actually want a steak that's cooked. We're not even specific about what we want. And the universe listens to we have to be very specific.
Right.
So, and I'm sorry, did I get off topic on the question? I feel like I kind of meandered away from what you asked.
No, we're just talking about how you change those self-limiting beliefs.
So how you change them is you first have to be aware that it's there. That's the first thing. And once you are aware that it's there, then you have the choice of, does this really serve me? Do I want to hold on to this, or can I let that go? Now, that sounds very simplistic. Now, if a client's working with me, I'm sending energy to really just shatter that belief and send it to the light so it doesn't exist anymore. Also, there's beliefs, positive, supportive beliefs that a lot of people haven't grown up with. And that's like, it's safe to be me, for one thing. And learning that in various different variations will also be very supportive.
Okay. But do you think, though, that it is important to do it on your own?
That's a really good, I think it depends on the person. I think for some, if you can do it on your own, then please do it on your own. But if you can't and you need support, then get support.
Yeah.
It just depends. I mean, there's a lot of work I did on my own, and then there's times I've worked with phenomenal healers too.
Yeah. Okay. So it's just as effective, you think, if they're able to be awakened in that time and willing.
The thing is that nothing is really to me now, because I spent 6 months in the Tennessee mountains meditating. Nothing to me now is about doing. It's more about being.
Being.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the doing part doesn't really help unless you really are owning it as a possibility or really owning it as your truth.
Okay. That's great. Well, we're going to have to take a quick break, but when we come back, I want to touch on Tennessee with you, Sylvia.
Okay.
Boogum, 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 boogum now, baby, you're casting your spell on I say, boogum, 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 boogum. Now, baby, you're casting your spell on me. You got me doing funny things like a clown. Just look at me.
If you're planning on building a home or a major landscaping project, you'll want the team of Stone Resources on your side. Safely, effectively, and correctly working with our unique terrain requires local knowledge and environmental care. For 21 years, Stone Resources has been making sure their customers' biggest investment is on solid ground. Trust your next earth-moving project to Stone Resources. Call 425-754-6792. That's 425-754-6792. Stone Resources. We make the earth move. And remember, if you need dirt or have dirt to get rid of, you can call on us. 425-754-6792.
Your skin is your body's largest organ. Care for it properly, starting with your face. Sakura Skin and Mind offers several clinical facial treatments to help stimulate collagen production, eliminate toxins, boost circulation, and deeply cleanse. See a new you in your mirror. Clinical facials range from $90 and up. Do your face a favor. Sakura Skin and Mind, erasing wrinkles one clinical facial at a time. Learn more, sakuraskinandmind.com. SAKURA skinandmind.com.
Did you know that your skin is your body's first defense against disease and infection? Briotech knows and has developed their topical skin spray to enhance your skin's natural healing responses and defenses. Briotech is all about providing its customers products that help promote skin wellness. Briotech Topical Skin Spray is a light misting spray free of added fragrance, oil, alcohol, and parabens. All this protection without clogging your pores. It's a must addition to your all-around daily skincare regimen. Try Briotech, a collection of sprayers from 2 ounces to 8 ounces. With this bundle, you can have Briotech Topical Skin Spray wherever life takes you. All natural and safe to use from head to toe. Irritations, redness, post-procedure sensitivities? Get Briotech Topical Skin Spray today. Years in the making, doctor recommended, and available through Amazon. Learn more at briotechusa.com. That's BRIOTECHUSA.com. Support your skin at briotechusa.com.
Microneedling is a revolutionary treatment that can help reduce the appearance of acne scars, fine lines, pigmentation, wrinkles, even improve the appearance of stretch marks by stimulating collagen and elastin. Sakura Skin and Mind specializes in this procedure that jumpstarts your body's natural healing process. Sakura Skin and Mind believes in not only keeping the skin up to date with the latest trends in the skincare industry, but also keeping the skin beautiful, fast, pretty, painless, and affordable. Find out more at sakuraskinandmind.com. SAKURA skinandmind.com.
Alternative Talk 1150, the talk of the sound.
Casting a spell on me.
Welcome back to Love from the Hip. I'm spiritual hypnotherapist, master esthetician, and your host, Sakura Sutter. And remember to tune in every Wednesday at 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. right here on KKNW. Today I have the pleasure of interviewing intuitive life coach and energy healer Sylvia Henderson. And before our last break, we were talking about changing, how we change beliefs, these self-limiting beliefs, correct? And you were touching on Tennessee. But before I go there, I want to ask you, do you think for some an awakening of consciousness is caused by illness and disease?
That's a really good question. So I do think that for some illness, well, I definitely think that anytime you have an illness or a disease or a dis-ease, it is awakening moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's an alarm clock going off. It's like, hello, pay attention to something you've not paid attention to for a long time. And it takes a long time for energy to become manifested form. So there's been like little nuances along the line that maybe we weren't attuned to or aware to because our lives are just too busy or we're too distracted and we ignore it and we're used to powering through our lives and pushing through to the next thing and task that we have in front of us. So,
I mean, do you think that's part of absorbing when you're saying how to create or change these self-limiting beliefs? I think that people that don't do it, that don't listen, i.e. me, this happens,
absolutely.
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
So.
absolutely. That can absolutely happen. I think that everything comes from consciousness and what we're willing to be aware of or not willing to be aware of. Mm-hmm. And whenever we resist what we don't want to look at, it just gets louder and louder. And sometimes it takes something like, disabling disease. Like for me, for instance, there was one time when I was bedridden for 6 weeks.
Wow.
Because all 5 of my lumbar discs basically imploded on themselves.
Oh my gosh.
And I had to crawl to the bathroom and crawl back to the bed and lay in a fetal position in order to find any sense of comfort, which still was not comfort. I was in pain the whole time. And so for me, that was a big wake-up call because there was a lot of stuff I wasn't willing to look at. I definitely don't advocate that you go that route.
No, I don't advocate it either.
I think that those of you who are listening to this, it's much wiser to start doing some work on yourself and start listening to those, as Oprah Winfrey would say, hear it in a whisper.
Right.
And really ask the universe to show you, what is it that I'm not getting that if I got it, it would really help to heal my life. Because we sit in a situation and we'll complain about it for as long as we sit in it, and we won't move off and make change happen until we're forced.
Now, what about with our ancestors? Because I feel like I can relate to this, having a dis-ease or illness that actually was my awakening for me not listening. But I also feel part of it was from my ancestors, them not changing their self-limiting beliefs. And then I felt like I had to deal with it. I mean, do you think that's pretty common?
It's really, I think that definitely does happen. And one of the things I look at with clients is, what have you inherited within your ancestral DNA? Because just like you can inherit a predisposition to cancer or diabetes or some other illness that's genetically housed within our bodies, you can also be predisposed to certain ancestral belief systems or patterns of behavior. And you can see it like growing up as a child. I'm sure some of you have seen, whole households where everyone in that family is happy, and other households where everyone in that family is just angry. They're just all angry people. That's coming through the ancestral DNA, or poverty, or the whole family's always sick, or whatever the denial area might be. That can definitely show up that way. Doesn't always have to be that pronounced where the whole family happens. It could be something like with you, I think in your particular situation, you had inherited some things through your ancestral DNA that helped to activate that illness, but it's a predisposition.
Thank you, ancestors.
Yeah, right? I know. But the great thing is it happened in a lifetime where it could be resolved.
Right.
I mean, just think if you had to go out that way.
But don't you also believe that it's put on someone in the family that's able to take it in a spiritual way?
I don't know. That's a really good question.
Take it on?
That could be. I really don't know. I haven't really investigated that as a question before.
I feel like it is, but I'm just So I want to touch on Tennessee, because I know that was a really big life transformation for you.
It was crazy.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. How did that come to be?
Oh my God. So that was crazy. I went away. Okay. So for those of you listening and you don't know this, basically, I had learned a particular form of meditation, and 2 months later, I had sold everything that I owned, got out of my lease in Kirkland, where I lived, and moved to Tennessee for 6 months in the beautiful foothills of the Smoky Mountains. It was gorgeous, on 42 acres of land, with about 35 people I just met 2 months prior.
Wow. Well, I remember seeing you selling off every single parcel in your condo. So.
It was just one of those things that I just knew I had to do. And it was interesting because it was presented to me initially, and there was like no way was I going to go. There was no way. I was not going to dismantle my life. There was too much going on. My youngest son was just moving in with his oldest brother into the adult residential program for individuals with autism. And I was like, I can't abandon him during this situation. And all of that just fell into place. And then I had all this regret of, oh my God, I should have gone. Well, as it turned out, by the time I decided I should have gone to this meditation, because it really pulled to me, and I don't know why. It just spoke to me and just pulled me by the heart. And and by the time I decided, they had already started the 6-month program in learning how to teach this particular form of meditation. So I thought the door was closed. And I talked to the person who, the main teacher, and she said, well, actually, we have a group coming from Mexico late. So if you can be here in 2 weeks, then you can still be part of that. And the day I found that out, I woke up that morning and I have a Flower of Life necklace that I wear all the time. And this necklace was in complete knots. And I'm like, the only other time that happened was when my dad transitioned.
Oh, wow.
And the day he died, the next morning after he had died, when I woke up, my watch was all in knots, and I knew it was his way of saying goodbye. And so I took that as a sign when my necklace was in knots, and I had knotted it the night before. That and it was just like everything just fell into place. So and the way things left I had beautiful furniture that I just pretty much gave away for nothing because I knew I needed to make this transition in my life. And it was quite the experience.
Well, you seem completely different. And I know
Do I?
it's hard for you to see that there's been a change, but I can see it.
Oh, wow.
And
okay.
having known you for quite a few years.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so what is it that you gained from that?
I think it wasn't a gain. It was more of what have I let go
What have
of.
you let go?
I let go of so much of the story of who and what I thought I was and who and what I thought I had to be. I let go of the performer. And that was huge. Because I grew up Catholic. I was taught never to speak your truth. Never to see what was on, say what was on your mind authentically. I mean, I was that person that if someone said, well, where do you want to go eat? I go, oh, I don't care, even though I had an idea of where I wanted, because I was just taught that what I had to say was not important.
Wow.
Isn't that interesting? And I even had a podcast and everything all during that time. But so it was really it was a gift. It was really a gift that just continues to expand. And it allowed me to trust the universe in such a way I had never thought possible.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so who are you now?
I don't know. I'm still becoming.
And so you're open to what the universe is providing for you.
I am so open.
And do you feel like that was the biggest lesson that you learned is just surrendering?
The biggest lesson was the trust.
Yeah. Trust and
knowing. And that's I think what all of humanity really wants to know, that we're all loved and supported and the universe has our back.
And that everything's going to be okay.
And that everything's going to be okay. And to know that no matter what comes up as a change that maybe I didn't initiate, to not have judgment about it and just know that everything is working together for my highest and best good, it's huge. It really is. And it really does play out that way.
Wow.
Do
you feel like just so much weight's been lifted off your shoulders? Just surrendering and just allowing and
absolutely. And I want that for everyone because there's so much freedom in that. And you don't have to sell everything you own and go to Tennessee for 6 months to get it.
Well, that's good to know. Nothing against Tennessee.
Right. It's beautiful, but
well, we have to come to the end of our show, but I want to ask you how people can find you.
Sure. They can go to my website, intuitivetransformations.net. That's Intuitive Transformations with an S, .net, not .com, because there is somebody that's a .com and it's not me. I'm the African-American woman, just so you know. You're on the right website.
Well, that's perfect. Well, thank you again. Really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you for having me. This has been so much fun.
So we have to come to a close for today, but again, thank you, Sylvia Henderson, for coming on my show. And also thank you, the man with the magic, Eric. And you, the listener, and remember to stick around for my Get Hip segment. You can find me at lovefromthehip.com or sakuraskinandmind.com. Please like me on Facebook at Love From The Hip and follow me on Instagram at Love From The Hip, and that's HYP. And remember, if you are interested in being hypnotized on a special edition of Love From The Hip and sharing your experience later on the air, or have any questions or comments, please email me at sakura@lovefromthehip or call 206-730-7429. Tune in next Wednesday at 2 p.m. right here on KKNW And remember to make self-love contagious. Go ahead, I dare you. In this week's Get Hip segment, I would like to discuss a recent hypnotherapy session I did for a man named Jared, who is trying to quit smoking and chewing tobacco. You can listen into the session done in the studio online at lovefromthehip.com or on YouTube on the Love from the Hip channel. In this session, it was made aware to Jared that the reason he first started smoking and chewing tobacco was because he no longer had a positive male role model in his life. And each time that he picked up the habit again, it was at another point in his life where he again needed this positive male role model and yet again did not have one. Having a son himself and wanting to be a positive male role model for him, as well as stepping into being that positive male role model for himself in all those younger years when he needed one, became a driving factor for him to kick the habit in the session. They say we tend to get stuck in an age where we first lost love. And by getting stuck, I mean picking up a habit or belief, something that creates friction and later makes life harder for us. So we have to revisit those times where we lost love and provide the love for ourselves. I will be checking in with Jared to see where he is in the next couple of weeks. So don't forget to listen in to the experience he was brave enough to share with all of you on YouTube and on lovefromthehip.com. And if you are interested in getting unstuck and kicking your habit through hypnotherapy, call 206-730-7429 or email me at sakura@sakuraskinandmind.com.